subscribe. Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
All right, I'm here. I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in the building. It's me, Tariq, ready to do the late night tap in. Glad to have everybody tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on with you guys? Y'all give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. If I'm coming in loud and clear and crisp, will y'all please give me a thumbs up and let me know everything is sounding okay. And before we get started, chopping up the good game as we always do, let me give some shout outs to some of the regulars in here. We got Brother Akeem. We got First Them News, Nikki the God. We got Brother McCall. We got Yapper. We got Hip Hop Purist, Grinds TV, Brother Corey, Miss Trinity, The Black Receipt, Sexy D, Highland, Little Old Me, Sweets, just so many people in here. Shout out to everybody in here. Glad to have y'all in here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, waiting on the room to pile up. Y'all give me a nice retweet. Let everybody know that we're live right now, ladies and gentlemen. And before we get started, today's broadcast is brought to you by the Hidden History Museum, the lovely museum out here in Los Angeles, where you can come visit during the week. We're going to have some events coming up, hopefully next month. I've just been so busy with other stuff, so I keep people posted on that. But everybody, make a contribution to the Hidden History Museum. It's a very important institution. And you can do that at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Hiddenhistorymuseum.com. It is a phenomenal venue for the community. What's up, Sister Wani Spots? Y'all give Wani a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give her a virtual round of applause. Shout out to Sister Wani. And speaking of education institutions, family, there's something on TikTok. There were some sisters some Black women created like a hashtag university. They created something called Hillman Talk. And Hillman was the fictional school in the show A Different World, produced by my good brother, Dr. Bill Cosby. So these sisters, who are real educators, there's a number of sisters and some brothers mixed in too, but these are real educators at real universities. Many of them teach African studies and African American history, stuff like that. So they created a hashtag called Hillman Talk, and they give real classes on TikTok. They give certain information from the curriculums that they teach in these universities on TikTok. So a lot of people are really feeling that. So it was kind of a thing. A lot of folks were tuning into the hashtag, and the hashtag grew. So it became a thing. Now there's some controversy because there's a white woman who tried to trademark the name Hillman Talk. The white woman tried to grab that. So a lot of people are feeling a certain way about it. But family, this is why Black people, we better start trademarking stuff. You better put your stamp on it. We better start owning things and getting paperwork on things that we create. It's very important. People always try to shame us because of the trademark we have on FBA, Foundational Black Americans. Again, you damn right we got a trademark on that because we're going to protect it. We're not going to let white supremacists, tethers, cosplayers, anybody get that and then flip it and then make it so that we can't even use it. You know what I'm saying? People do little stuff like that. It's important. Black people, trademark your stuff. Get your legal paperwork on everything you create. We got to be on that. We got to start dotting the I's and crossing the damn T's, Black people, when it comes to things that we create. This is why things get co-opted from us so damn much. It's very important, man. You got to prevent cultural theft because people will steal your stuff. People watch what Black people do all the time, just sitting around waiting to steal it. Also, when we own the names and brands, we can dictate how they're going to be used. You understand? Without trademarks, outsiders can come in and then distort and dilute the original purpose of what it is, stripping it from its cultural significance and then repurposing it. You understand? And also just to establish a legal standing in business. Because see, when you trademark something, that gives a lot of black entrepreneurs and creatives and educators legal protection against unauthorized use. If somebody wants to make a bunch of butt plugs called Hillman Talk, you need to have your paperwork in order so nobody can do that. Because people do little janky stuff like that. They get something and then use the name to flip the narrative for something totally different. And also, you just do it to honor your legacy and your cultural contributions. We've created entire industries from jazz, hip hop, social media trends, but history will erase that stuff and it will minimize your contributions. So trademark stuff, man, you got to trademark it to make sure that it's going to be recognized and the respect will go to the originators of it. And also we just got to stop people with the colonizer mindset from commercializing a lot of the movements. A lot of stuff we create, um, them pink hands are right there in the mix trying to snatch it away for their own benefit. Yeah. And we have to trademark stuff so we can just set a precedent, man. So when we normalize trademarking within the black community, man, we set a standard that our work is valuable and it should be protected. See, we got to value ourselves, man. We got to value the stuff we create because we do stuff, and because we're very innovative, we do stuff and we're like, we'll just throw that away. We'll do something new next week. No, let's gatekeep the stuff that we do. Put a gate around that and then honor it and put value on it. You understand? Because we leave stuff up in the air, other people get it, and then they put a value on it, and then the stock goes up, and we don't capitalize off the stock of it. We better learn business out here, man. We better learn business. That's why people try to discourage us from trademarking. Notice whenever you see a lot of comments about that Tariq had trademarked Foundation of Black American, man, you own the lineage. That's COINTELPRO talk. All right. Those are alphabet boys talk. They're always trying to discourage us from doing the smart thing when it comes to movements, business, names, legacy. People always try to shame us out of doing the smart thing. You understand? And a lot of these folks are mad because they didn't get a chance to trademark FBA so they can bastardize it, because there were people actually trying to do that. And I want y'all to understand this happens all the time. People are always getting our creations and then they'll trademark it and then make a gazillion dollars. Hell, that goes all the way back to Jack Daniels and Uncle Nearest. Remember, it's a black man who created the Jack Daniels whiskey. And Jack Daniels was like, "Hey, that's a great little thing you got there." "Oh, yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. All right. Well, let me go ahead and get that off your hands. I'm gonna run down here to the trademark office. And now this dude has a multi-billion-dollar business off this black man who created this thing. This happens all the time. We do things, our music contributions, a lot of stuff, a lot of our cultural inventions. That's why I like to um utilize a lot of names and things that have cultural relevance. When we do the R&B group Mink Slide, there's a cultural relevance to that. There was a community in Memphis, Tennessee, years ago that had a race riot, and they were beating the white supremacists off of them. In the area, it was a black area called Mink Slide. It was a real area that was populated by black folks in Tennessee. That's where I got the name. And I wanted to pay homage to them because they stood up for themselves against the Klan and the white supremacists. Just like with our good brother Charlie Wilson, one of my favorite singers. They named this group the Gap Band. That's after the Tulsa race riot, Greenwood, Archer, and Pine, because they're from Tulsa. And they named Gap, the GAP stands for Greenwood, Archer, and Pine. That was the Black Wall Street area, you see. But historically, family, a lot of people They tried to co-opt our culture. We create something and people just go and run and trademark it. People from the dominant society. Y'all remember a couple of years ago, Walmart tried to trademark Juneteenth. Y'all remember that? That was 2022. Y'all look that up. And I think they let it go because there was a backlash behind it. But yeah, Walmart tried to trademark Juneteenth. You see what I'm saying? This happens a lot, family. They did that. There's a whole bunch of white people who co-opted and trademarked different versions of Black Lives Matter. There's a bunch of Black Lives Matter trademarks by white companies. Bunch of white companies on that. Hell, even the term African American, it's about 2,000 trademarks for the term African American is mostly owned by white and Asian companies. That's real strange that so many Asian companies want the name African American. You see? Also, a lot of dances we create. There was a controversy some years ago. Y'all remember the Millie Rock dance? You know, that was a dance we created, and we create new dances every few months. But yeah, the Millie Rock dance. Where did the Millie Rock come from? Was that a New York? Did it start in New York? Where did the Millie Rock? I forgot where it started, but yeah, the Millie Rock dance. That name in the dance got trademarked by Fortnite. There was a controversy behind that. The company Fortnite, they trademarked that Millie Rock and the dance and put it in their games. And there were a lot of people trying to trademark Gullah Geechee. There's a lot of white people trying to do that too. So this is the thing, man. People will take your trademark and they will take your likeness. So you better have your paperwork together. Shout out to our good brother Ti and Tiny. Remember, they just won a big lawsuit because a huge company, MGA Entertainment, took the likenesses of the OMG girls. You know, that's their daughter's group, and they won a huge settlement because yeah, this company just said, hey, okay, well, we like that look, we're gonna steal it and trademark it and put it in our joint and act like nothing happened. And no, the Ti and Tiny was like, no, y'all gonna have to break bread, and they won. Yeah, there was a dude recently on TikTok. Speaking of TikTok, it was a trans dude or woman, whatever you want to call him. I don't know. But he came up with this catchphrase, that demure thing, the demure phrase. So he started saying the term demure, and that kind of took off. And then a white dude from DC trademarked it, I think, a white dude in his company, and they're going back and forth with that. You see? So a lot of stuff that we create always gets co-opted. So we got to make sure our paperwork is in order, man. We have to value the stuff that we come up with because the dominant society values it. See, they want you to think lowly of yourself. They want you to think that you're less than, so that when you create things, you don't put too much value on it. And they're sitting around watching you and studying you, watching what you leave on the table. And once they see you create something and leave it on the table, they swoop in, family. I'm telling you, Black folks, particularly foundational Black Americans, you are cultural gold. I really want y'all to get that through your damn heads, Black family. Everything you do is watched and studied, and people are trying to find ways to co-opt it. People study you for the next move. Foundational Black American culture is very valuable. That's why I put so much value on it. That's why the delineation movement is in full swing, because we're going to value the things that we bring to the table because they are valuable, and we're seeing how valuable we are. That's why when other movements are going on and people are going through certain things, who are they calling on? They're always calling on foundational Black Americans. They want us to come through. They know the value. They know our value. You need to know your value, ladies and gentlemen. That is very, very important. Just like I said the other night, I was talking about the guy The Ghanaian guy sitting up here online doing online classes teaching people how to cosplay as us, doing classes on how to use foundational Black American vernacular and use slang terms like us. These people secretly teach each other this stuff. You understand? So some real heavy things out here. But let me get a couple of calls in here real quick. Let me get some calls. Let's get Ray. Let's get Coop. Let me get some of these new faces in here. Let's get Wasabi. Let's get the North Side Dinner Thief. All right, let's get Ray. You ready, Ray? All right, Ray ain't ready, so let's get Wasabi. Wak?
What's happening?
What's up, Wak? How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I normally don't really talk, and I normally listening to what you're saying. I know exactly what you're talking about. With us having these ideas, and they're being swept away. Um, a few of my ideas and my family's, my dad's my ideas was swept away. I went to this church. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. It's called the Worldwide Church of God.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard of that?
That sounds familiar, but go ahead.
Yeah, and it was headed by these white people, and every year you went to this place they call it the Feast of Tabernacles, and I was always a big drawer, so I was draw up things, and I came up with this that Cammy person on Street Fighter 2. Her name was actually Vanessa. The white boy seen me draw it, and he came up with it before I did. So
Mm.
I absolutely know what you're talking about. My on my dad's side, it was a car called the Gremlin, and he called the Grand, and the white boy seen it and took it and made the Gremlin out of a car that my dad made, like, on paper. So I absolutely understand 100% about what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's real out here, brother.
So
Very, very real, man. Thank you so much, brother.
yeah,
Appreciate you. Ray, you ready, Ray?
I'm ready. How you doing tonight, brother Tariq?
I'm good, man. How are you, Ray?
I'm good. I'm good. I just wanted to ask you, have you I got three questions really. The first one, have you had a chance to see the new OJ documentary? I think it's called OJ Manhunt.
Oh no, where's this on? What's it on?
It's on Netflix. It just released yesterday, and it's a four-part series. And in the last series, which is obviously the finale, they talk about I forget the man's name, but he after the trial was over with, he said that OJ confessed to him. So obviously, there's no actual proof of it. But whenever you get a chance, I definitely think you should check it out. Since I know you talk about OJ from time to time.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. But that already sounds like cap. OJ didn't confess to nothing because OJ didn't do nothing. OJ did not confess. It's always some um grifter, as they say, and I don't like using the word grifter. I won't even use grifter. I say scammer. You got because I don't like the grifter. That's a punk ass word to me. But scammer, we'll say scammers. These people who are scammers who try to finesse bags by going out here talking about OJ didn't confess to them. Well, it's all cap. OJ didn't confess to nothing because he didn't do nothing. There was somebody who had said they had a confession from OJ. They had it taped, and then come to find out his ass was lying. They always do that. Yeah, so those documentaries is like the OJ did it industry is a big money industry. Let's be very clear. OJ did not kill nobody at all. He didn't kill them people. There was no motive, there was no weapon, there was no injuries consistent with that kind of murder, just nothing. And all the evidence was planted by a corrupt ass police unit that the LAPD people don't understand because y'all don't live out here. Some of y'all don't live here. Y'all don't understand how corrupt they were in the 90s. The LAPD was rotten to the damn core in the 90s. That's why right after that the OJ thing, they had that big Rampart scandal where they had all of those scandalous crooked ass cops being exposed. So yeah, I don't believe none of that stuff. But I digress. Let's get LA Reid. Mr. L.A. Reid.
Hey, brother Tariq, you hear me?
I hear you. What's up, brother?
How you doing, brother?
What's on your mind?
Uh, I remember you was talking about the first EMTs back in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually from that neighborhood. It's called the Hill District. You know what I'm saying? It's prominent black neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And like back in the days, they used to have these little documentaries on the local channels
yeah.
talking about how the old Valley Avenue days and how the Venices was and all the black people, how the whole neighborhood was predominantly black. So when
Mm,
you talk about like the trademark and all that stuff that you talk about, that's like we were the first people who created EMS. That's where that comes from. You
oh,
know what I'm saying?
a- absolutely.
And that's when you say that, man. That wording is everything. Wording is everything, man. That's everything, brother.
It
You
is.
be on point with that, man. So I'll land my jet though.
I appreciate you. Yeah, man. And I used to talk about this before. We have a little display at the Hidden History Museum about, I think it was the Freedom Ambulance Company, something like that, but out there in Pittsburgh. And the first EMTs in the world were foundational Black Americans in Pittsburgh. These were the first EMTs, and that started in the late 60s. Before then, you didn't have emergency medical workers. You didn't have that. When somebody got hurt or shot, they would put them in a police car or a hearse and then take them to a hospital. You didn't have people working on folks right there doing medical procedures right there on the people. The first people to do that were foundational Black Americans out there in Pittsburgh. And then they ended up teaching people around the world how to do it. And then they just got erased from it. Just, you know, they just got buried in the annals of history. So this is why it's important for us to uplift that history. And also another thing, family, because y'all need to let me know some of these places where y'all live, because our history is all over the place. And a lot of times, folks, you don't really talk to your families about history. Will y'all talk to your families about the areas in your local cities? Because everywhere I go, I find some unsung history involving foundational Black Americans in damn near every city I go to. I'm telling you, even in your family, all of you listening, in your family, there's probably some deep shit that's just not talked about. Yeah. Because we're a forward looking people. We're always innovating and looking forward to the next thing. We got to start really looking and going into the history and going into what our families were doing. Um, I learned a lot of stuff going to different cities, just talking to the Black people in these cities. I remember when I went to Buffalo, they flew me out to Buffalo and just really rolled the red carpet out for me. And just I was talking to some of the activists there, and just matter of factly, some of the elders, they were like, "Yeah, Buffalo was founded by a Black man." What? Really? Yeah, Black Joe. And then I looked into it. It was absolutely true. A foundational Black American founded Buffalo, New York. When I did a lecture out in Cincinnati, the locals were telling me about a prosperous Black area there that was called Lincoln Heights. That was a very well-to-do Black area that, the white supremacists gentrified it. Detroit, there was a prosperous area called Hastings Street, which was a Black business district that I think they put a freeway over that area. Just different cities. Somebody was telling me recently about it was a Black owned amusement park. I want to say it was in somewhere in Louisiana. And that history got buried. So just all over, man, all over the country, we got deep, rich history that's just not talked about. We need to start bringing that stuff up, family. Like one time I was on here talking about this brother who was one of the wealthiest Black men in the country. He was the king of potatoes. He was the biggest potato seller in the world. He was shipping potatoes all over the world. He was a former slave. And I was talking about this guy. And then a couple of days later, one of his descendants called up. He was like, "Hey man, the guy you're talking about, that's like my great great uncle." Like, yeah, we heard the name around the family, but I never really put two and two together. He was like, "Yeah, when you said that, I'm like, yeah, those my people." And the guy realized that his great 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 uncle was one of the richest black men in the country, and he didn't really realize it, but he just heard the name, and the family just didn't really go into detail about it. I'm telling you, man, some of y'all and some of us, man, we got some phenomenal things in the family if we start uncovering and digging stuff out. Yeah, our history is rich, man. We got a rich history out here.
Hi, I'm Mateo. Do you want to learn about Hidden Heroes? Hidden Heroes from A to Z is a cool book that tells the stories of amazing black heroes you might not know about. You'll meet inventors, you'll meet explorers, and leaders who changed the world. It's fun, inspiring, and you can learn so much. Get your copy now at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Let's discover our hidden heroes together.